On June 22, 2025, the simmering conflict between Israel and Iran exploded onto the world stage, drawing in global attention and sparking immediate concern among world leaders. The escalation, which had been building for months through covert operations and tense diplomatic exchanges, suddenly became impossible to ignore. In a stunning show of force, the United States launched massive airstrikes against Iranian nuclear sites, targeting key facilities with precision munitions. The world watched live as American bombers streaked across the night sky, signaling a new and dangerous phase in the conflict. President Trump, in a somber televised address from the White House, declared the operation a decisive move to destroy Iran's uranium enrichment capabilities. He emphasized that the United States would not allow Iran to develop nuclear weapons, framing the strikes as a necessary step for global security. The strikes came after a deadly exchange. Israel had attacked Iranian targets, and Iran retaliated with a barrage of missile strikes on Israeli cities, leaving destruction and fear in their wake. U.S. officials argued that only America possessed the military capability to destroy Iran's most fortified site, Fordow, a nuclear facility buried deep beneath a mountain and protected by layers of reinforced concrete. The intervention marked a dramatic shift, moving the conflict from years of shadowy covert operations and proxy battles to open direct warfare between nations. Iran's supreme leader had repeatedly warned that U.S. involvement would trigger dire consequences, vowing that any attack on Iranian soil would be met with a powerful response. Now, as anxious crowds gather around screens and the world holds its breath, everyone waits to see how Tehran will respond to this unprecedented escalation. In a bold and meticulously coordinated operation, the U.S. targeted 3 of Iran's most critical nuclear sites, aiming to cripple the country's nuclear capabilities and send a powerful message to the world. These sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, were chosen for their strategic importance and the role they play in Iran's nuclear program. B-2 stealth bombers, flying undetected through Iranian airspace, dropped GBU-57 bunker busters on Fordow, marking the first-ever combat use of these massive, deeply penetrating bombs. Meanwhile, Natanz and Isfahan were struck by waves of cruise missiles launched from U.S. Navy submarines lurking in the region's waters. The simultaneous assault overwhelmed Iranian air defenses, leaving them little time to react and maximizing both surprise and destruction across all 3 sites. The GBU-57S were engineered to penetrate deep underground bunkers, while the cruise missiles struck with pinpoint accuracy, ensuring minimal collateral damage to surrounding civilian areas. This operation not only demonstrated overwhelming U.S. military superiority, but also sparked fears of environmental fallout and set a dangerous new precedent for future conflicts. As the world watched in shock, the reality of a direct U.S.-Iran military clash sent tremors through global politics and left many wondering what would come next. In the aftermath, Washington claimed total success, insisting Iran's nuclear threat was neutralized. Iran countered, saying Fordow had been evacuated and damage was limited. The Atomic Energy Organization of Iran denied any dangerous radiation leaks, seeking to calm public fears. The International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed no immediate radiation spike, but couldn't verify the full extent of the damage. Both sides spun the narrative. The U.S. needed to justify its gamble, while Iran aimed to project resilience. The true impact, especially at Fordow, remained unclear as the world awaited independent verification. Uncertainty and suspicion now defined the crisis. The recent U.S. strikes have plunged the Middle East into even deeper uncertainty, sending shockwaves through the region and beyond. Cities are on edge, and the world is holding its breath, bracing for what might come next. Global leaders are urgently warning of catastrophic escalation, calling for restraint and dialogue as tensions threaten to spiral out of control. Iran's leaders have fiercely condemned the attack, vowing consequences and threatening to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, an act that would end international oversight and raise the stakes dramatically. In Tehran, military strategists are weighing their options: missile strikes, direct attacks on U.S. forces, or unleashing powerful proxy militias across the region, each path carrying grave risks. Analysts warn that the U.S. could be drawn into a prolonged, unpredictable conflict, with consequences that could reverberate for years and reshape the geopolitical landscape. The bombing, intended to solve a problem and deter further aggression, has instead pushed the world closer to the brink of a regional war, with borders tightening and militaries mobilizing. The coming days are critical, as the world anxiously watches for Iran's next move and ordinary people hope for peace amid growing uncertainty. There is still hope for diplomatic intervention, as envoys rush to broker talks and prevent further bloodshed. The fate of the region, and the stability of the entire world, now hangs in the balance, as history waits to be written.